Hello everyone! In his video the reflection questions and model answers for Lectio Mark episode 3 will be read to you. These slides were used during our reflection on the presentation by Dr. Tim Gray. Come follow behind me.
Reflection questions. 1. How does the immediate response of Simon and Andrew to Jesus' call to follow him reflect the nature of true discipleship and the concept of obedience? Model answer. The instantaneous response of Simon and Andrew to Jesus' call to follow him prompts us to consider the nature of true discipleship and the concept of obedience. Their immediate decision to leave everything and respond to Jesus' call illustrates the radical and wholehearted commitment required to follow Christ. This raises the question of whether we, like Simon and Andrew, are willing to let go of our own plans and priorities in obedience to the call of God. It challenges us to reflect on the level of surrender and sacrifice that true discipleship demands, as well as the readiness to promptly respond to the call of Christ in our own lives. 2. How does the portrayal of discipleship as following Jesus' lead and emphasizing obedience challenge our inclination to take the lead in our spiritual journey? Model answer. The portrayal of discipleship as following Jesus' lead and emphasizing obedience presents a profound challenge to our inclination to take the lead in our spiritual journey. Mark's emphasis on the importance of obedience and following Jesus, rather than asserting our own desires, challenges us to reflect on our tendencies to lead, rather than follow in our walk with Christ. The parallel with the story of Elijah and Elisha suggests Jesus as the new Elijah, embodying the mantle of Yahweh. This prompts us to consider whether we are truly yielding to Jesus' leadership in our lives, or whether we are attempting to take charge and steer our own spiritual path. It encourages us to examine our willingness to obey and follow, rather than assert our own will, in our discipleship journey. 3. How does the encounter with the unclean spirit in the synagogue highlight the spiritual warfare and conflict with demonic forces as the primary enemy in Mark's Gospel, challenging our understanding of the battle between good and evil? Model answer. The encounter with the unclean spirit in the synagogue not only showcases the conflict with demonic forces as the primary enemy in Mark's Gospel, but also challenges our understanding of the battle between good and evil. By portraying the demonic forces as the primary adversary rather than merely human opposition, like the Pharisees, Mark emphasizes the spiritual warfare at play in Jesus' ministry. This prompts us to reflect on the existence of spiritual forces seeking to disrupt and oppose the work of God, highlighting the reality of evil in the world. Furthermore, this encounter invites us to consider how we engage in our own spiritual battles, recognizing the importance of relying on God's authority and power to combat spiritual darkness rather than relying solely on human efforts. Ultimately, it urges us to be vigilant in recognizing and confronting the spiritual forces of evil in our lives and the world around us. 4. How does the encounter with the unclean spirit in the synagogue challenge our initial perception of the demon's recognition of Jesus as an attack, rather than a confession of faith, and how does Jesus' subsequent rebuke highlight his authority over demonic forces? Model answer. The encounter with the unclean spirit in the synagogue challenges our initial perception of the demon's recognition of Jesus as an attack rather than a confession of faith. Despite acknowledging Jesus as the Holy One of God, the demon's statement is not one of surrender, but an attempt to exert power over Jesus by attempting to exorcise him. This revelation prompts us to reconsider the dynamics at play in spiritual warfare, and the deceptive nature of demonic forces that may cloak their attacks under the guise of acknowledgement. Furthermore, Jesus' immediate rebuke of the unclean spirit showcases his ultimate authority over demonic forces, emphasizing his power to command spiritual entities with just a word. By silencing the demon and compelling it to leave, Jesus solidifies his dominance over the forces of darkness, reinforcing the narrative of his divine authority and ability to confront and overcome evil. 5. how does the demon's refusal to give a personal name in the exorcism, instead stating "we are legion," highlight their defiance against God's authority, and how does Jesus' ability to cast them out despite this defiance underline his ultimate authority over demonic forces? Model answer: the demon's refusal to give a personal name during the exorcism, instead declaring "we are legion," serves as a display of their defiance against God's authority. By evading the act of giving a name, the demon showcases its reluctance to submit to the command and authority of Jesus. This reveals a deliberate attempt to resist and challenge divine power, emphasizing the rebellious nature of demonic forces. However, despite this resistance, Jesus exhibits his ultimate authority over the demons by casting them out. His ability to compel the departure of the demons, even without obtaining their names, underscores his supremacy over all spiritual entities, regardless of their attempts to resist or conceal their identity. It highlights Jesus' sovereignty and dominance over the forces of darkness, reinforcing the narrative of his divine power and ability to confront and overcome evil. 6. How does Jesus' silencing of acknowledging demons underscore his authority over spiritual forces, and the nature of their intent, challenging our understanding of spiritual warfare and the manifestation of divine power? Model answer: Jesus' act of silencing the acknowledging demons presents a moment that challenges our understanding of spiritual warfare and the manifestation of divine power. Despite the demons' acknowledgement of Jesus, he silences them to reveal that their intent is not a confession of faith, but an attack. This prompts us to reflect on the deceptive nature of spiritual opposition and the significance of discerning the underlying motives behind acknowledgement. Furthermore, it highlights Jesus' ultimate authority over spiritual forces, emphasizing his ability to control and command even the rebellious entities. This invites contemplation on the complexities of spiritual conflict and the ways in which Jesus' actions redefine our perception of divine power and the confrontation of evil forces. 7. How does the gathering at Peter's house for healing on the Sabbath challenge our understanding of religious traditions and convey a deeper spiritual significance, considering the prophetic theme of God regathering his scattered people? Model answer: the gathering at Peter's house for healing on the Sabbath raises a compelling reflection on the interplay between religious traditions and profound spiritual significance. Despite the Sabbath restrictions imposed by the Pharisees, people are driven to seek healing from Jesus, defying the traditional interpretations of Sabbath regulations. This prompts us to contemplate the conflict between the legalistic observance and the transformative power of spiritual healing. Additionally, the use of the word synagogue to describe the gathering reflects the prophetic theme of God regathering his scattered people. This juxtaposition challenges us to consider the deeper spiritual implications of the gathering, resonating with the notion of God fulfilling his promise to regather and bless his people. It invites us to reflect on the tension between adherence to religious regulations and the expression of divine compassion and restoration, ultimately prompting us to re-examine the essence of religious observance and the overarching purpose of spiritual healing and restoration. 8. How does Jesus' prioritization of prayer and emphasis on the mission of preaching and casting out demons as central to his purpose model a holistic approach to discipleship, challenging our understanding of the balance between spiritual communion and active ministry? Model answer: Jesus' dedication to prayer, as demonstrated by his habit of rising early to commune with God, and his emphasis on the mission of preaching and casting out demons as central to his purpose, present a holistic approach to discipleship. This challenges our understanding of the balance between spiritual communion and active ministry. By exemplifying the significance of intimate prayer while being fully engaged in the mission, Jesus sets a profound example for his disciples and challenges us to integrate both spiritual intimacy and active ministry in discipleship. This invites reflection on how our own discipleship can be shaped by the harmonious combination of seeking communion with God and actively participating in the transformative work of the kingdom. It prompts us to consider the interconnectedness of spiritual nourishment and outward mission, redefining our understanding of what it means to follow Jesus and participate in his ministry. 9. How does the interaction between Jesus and the leper, where the leper seeks to be ritually clean to return to temple worship, reflect a deeper longing for social and spiritual restoration? And how does Jesus' compassionate touch symbolize a transformative shift, where the unclean is made clean, challenging previous notions of purity and cleanliness? Model answer: the encounter between Jesus and the leper, where the leper's desire for ritual cleanliness represents a deeper yearning for social and spiritual restoration, invites us to ponder the significance of returning to temple worship and communal life. By expressing his desire not just for physical healing, but for social and liturgical restoration, the leper embodies a longing to be fully integrated back into the community of God's people. Moreover, Jesus' compassionate touch signifies a radical shift in the prevailing paradigm, where the unclean is transformed and restored to a state of purity. This challenges traditional notions of purity laws and underlines a new era of transformation and inclusion under Jesus' ministry. The leper's yearning for spiritual and social reintegration and Jesus' healing touch symbolize a profound transformation where the outsider is welcomed back into the fold, heralding a new understanding of purity and acceptance in the kingdom of God. 10. How does Jesus' radical act of compassion towards the leper, healing not just his physical ailment, but also his deeper loneliness and isolation, challenge our understanding of divine love and redemption? And how does the reversal of the leper's situation underscore the transformative power of Jesus' love as the Redeemer? Model answer: Jesus' profound display of compassion towards the leper, where he extends healing not only for physical affliction, but also for emotional isolation, prompts us to contemplate the depths of divine love and redemption. By reaching out and touching the leper, Jesus not only cures his leprosy, but also alleviates the underlying loneliness his encompasses. This challenges us to reconsider our perceptions of divine compassion as a holistic, all-encompassing force that addresses both physical and emotional scars. Moreover, the reversal of the leper's isolation, shifting from a state of marginalization to one of inclusion and freedom, serves as a powerful testament to the beauty of Jesus' transformative love for humanity as the Redeemer. The imagery of Jesus embodying the leper's isolation further accentuates the sacrificial nature of redemption, where Jesus willingly takes on our burdens and restores us to wholeness. This reflection invites us to meditate on the radical love and restorative power of Jesus' compassion, inviting us to partake in the profound exchange of isolation for communion through his redeeming grace. 11. How does the extraordinary action of the paralytic being lowered through the roof provide a vivid illustration of faith and determination? And how does Jesus' decision to forgive the paralytic's sins alongside his physical healing reveal the depth of his authority and compassion, challenging the traditional understanding of physical and spiritual healing? Model answer: the extraordinary account of the paralytic being lowered through the roof by his friends serves as a powerful illustration of unwavering faith and remarkable determination. The actions of the four men to overcome physical obstacles and ensure the paralytic's access to Jesus demonstrate a profound commitment and belief in Jesus' ability to bring about healing. Moreover, Jesus' decision to not only grant physical healing but also forgive the paralytic's sins provides a multifaceted portrayal of his authority and compassion. This challenges the traditional understanding of physical and spiritual healing, underscoring the integrated nature of Jesus' ministry. The act of forgiving the paralytic's sins, alongside physical healing, serves as a profound declaration of Jesus' authority on earth to dispense forgiveness, transcending the expectations of those present. This prompts us to reflect on the holistic nature of human restoration, both physically and spiritually, and the transformative power of Jesus' compassion and authority, exhibited in this remarkable event. 12. How do the Old Testament allusions in Jesus' words, particularly the phrase, "so that you may know," in reference to the Exodus, serve to emphasize the transformative nature of the new Exodus, brought about by Jesus, and challenge our understanding of belief and authority? Model answer: the use of the phrase, "so that you may know," by Jesus, drawing from the story of the Exodus, offers a compelling reflection on the deeper significance of the new Exodus that Jesus is ushering in. This prompts us to contemplate how the allusion to the Exodus underscores the redemptive and transformative nature of Jesus' ministry, challenging us to discern the parallels between the historical Exodus and the spiritual liberation and renewal offered through Jesus. Additionally, the comparison of the Pharisees to the hard-hearted Pharaoh in the Old Exodus confronts our understanding of belief and authority. By highlighting the Pharisees' refusal to acknowledge and accept Jesus' authority, this comparison prompts us to reflect on the dangers of hardened hearts and the implications of rejecting the divine authority represented by Jesus. It compels us to examine our own receptivity to the authority and transformative power of Jesus in our lives, as well as our attitudes toward belief and spiritual openness. 13. In what ways do Jesus' actions in providing physical healing, forgiving sins, and showing deep compassion challenge our perceptions of power and authority, and how do these stories illustrate the profound impact of Jesus' love and ministry in transforming the lives of those he encounters? Model answer: Jesus' actions of physical healing, forgiving sins, and showing profound compassion not only showcase his power and authority, but also challenge conventional beliefs, especially in the face of Pharisaic disbelief. By demonstrating his ability to heal and forgive, Jesus challenges the Pharisees' skepticism and highlights a deeper understanding of divine authority that encompasses both physical and spiritual restoration. Moreover, the narratives of compassion and healing exemplify the depth of Jesus' love and the transformative nature of his ministry. Through his acts of compassion, Jesus brings about not only physical healing but also emotional and spiritual renewal, showcasing the holistic impact of his love on those he encounters. These stories serve as powerful illustrations of the profound impact of Jesus' ministry in changing lives and embodying the essence of redemption and restoration through love and compassion. 14. How does the concept of Jesus bringing a new Exodus, intertwined with the performance of great signs, deepen our understanding of his identity and point to his divine nature as God, challenging our perceptions of redemption and liberation in the spiritual realm? Model answer: exploring the notion of Jesus ushering in a new Exodus, coupled with the demonstration of miraculous signs, prompts us to ponder the profound implications of his divine identity. By framing Jesus within the context of a new Exodus, Mark evokes parallels between the liberation of the Israelites in the Old Testament and the spiritual restoration and freedom offered by Jesus in the New Testament. The performance of great signs not only serves as a confirmation of Jesus' authority but also accentuates his divine nature as God incarnate. These signs, delineating his power over sickness, demons, and the natural world, not only reveal Jesus' ability to perform miracles, but also signify his role as the ultimate agent of redemption and liberation. In this light, contemplating Jesus as the bringer of a new Exodus sheds light on the transformative impact of his ministry, and challenges our preconceived notions of spiritual deliverance and salvation. It beckons us to delve deeper into the significance of Jesus' miraculous signs, and the pivotal role they play in affirming his identity as the Son of God, inviting us to re-examine our understanding of redemption and liberation in the spiritual realm.
Thank you for viewing. And may God bless you today and always.